Here we are in Algonquin Park, the world's most famous wolf howling site. Today on Wild by Nature, we're going to track some wolves, catch up to a pack, and have a real howl of a time. Join me, Michael Runtz, as we enjoy the Howls of August. There was no answer, but there have been wolves here within the last 24 hours. It rained heavily yesterday morning, so all these wolf tracks here are fresh. And judging by the tracks, the entire pack has moved through here. Most of the tracks are small, which means pups, this year's pups. The wolves that made these tracks aren't here right now, but the odds are very high that one of those tracks belongs to an animal we met here about a month ago. We were on this logging road during a light rain when all of a sudden a young wolf pup appeared on the road just down here. This is incredible. That's a timber wolf pup, this year's pup. Pups are very curious, as you can see right here. This is absolutely incredible. I'll try a little howl and see what it does. This pup is probably part of a pack using this old beaver meadow here as a rendezvous site. What a beautiful animal. What a rare treat. Just fantastic. In the month of August, when wolves are at their most vocal, they are often howling from sites just like this. After being raised in the den, the pups are brought by the adult wolves to open areas in the middle of summer. Here the pups are left, the adults go off hunting and bring food back to them. Because the pups and adults meet together again, these are called rendezvous sites. I would never walk into a rendezvous site that was active. That would scare off the wolves. Now this site right here was a rendezvous site just 2 years ago. I was working on my wolf book and had the rare opportunity of hiding on the far hillside and watching wolves right down here. The far stump was one of their favorite sites. The pups would come down from the far hillside right at sunrise. They'd play down here, drink a bit of water, then climb the far hillside and sleep. At other sites I've been to, I've seen the very same behavior, where through most of the day, the pups slept under sheltered sites, played for a few minutes here and there, but otherwise slept. Now all rendezvous sites seem to have three things in common. They have an open area for the pups to play in, usually at night. They have trees nearby for shelter to lie beneath during the hot, sunny days, and water for drinking. This beautiful site here has all three ingredients, and just 2 years ago, there was a lot of activity right here. This year, it's pretty quiet. Much of the activity at rendezvous sites occurs after the sun goes down. With an infrared camera, we had a rare peek at a couple of wolves that seemed much less secretive under the cover of darkness. The howls of wolves can be used to define their territories and warn strange wolves to stay away. Barking can also deliver a strong message.
That was amazing. What we just heard was aggressive barking. Usually in a pack of wolves, there's a pair that are dominant. They're called the alpha pair. They are the custodians of the pack. When they come in to investigate a strange wolf, as that wolf did to us, it responded by barking aggressively. I've only heard that kind of barking a few times in my life. What you heard was a rarely heard sound, and in fact, it's a sound that you may never hear again the rest of your life. Phenomenal.
After the break, a rendezvous with wolves.
Well, there's plenty of sign here. That's why I was howling.
This kind of open habitat is the ideal spot for wolves in August. They will use old dry beaver meadows, boggy areas, or even old man-made clearings as we have right here. Well, nothing here now except that frightened moose, but that may change overnight. It's just after sunrise, and we've been waiting here for maybe half an hour now. We're not going to go down there, that would disturb them, but up here we're hidden. They cannot see us, and hopefully can't hear us, so wait a while and see what happens.
Unbelievable. To hear wolves howl is such a treat, but to actually watch them, these are wild timber wolves in Algonquin Park. These are not captive animals. This is the real thing. That was an adult that just came back. First it howled from quite a distance away, and then got the pack to respond. So now it's rejoined them.
The pups are begging for food. They're biting at the corner of the adult's mouth, trying to get it to regurgitate for them. When the adults bring back food this way, I call it meals on heels. Now, so far I've seen 4 pups and several adults. The average pack size is about 7 to 10, so this is an average pack right here.
Wolf packs are social units with an hierarchy all through the pack. When packs reunite, as did these adults and the pups here, there's a lot of tail wagging, a lot of bonding. Pups right now are taken care of by the entire pack. But in a matter of a couple of months from now, by the latter part of fall, these pups will no longer be catered to. They must travel with the pack and take their turn feasting. Undoubtedly over half the pups fail to survive each winter. It's a tough, tough life being a wolf. After the break, one of the rarest sights in nature. See that? One of the wolves, probably an adult, is out in the back part of that beaver meadow. The whole pack is here now. There's at least 3 pups. They're coming out to play occasionally, then going into those spruces to sleep. Now, this beaver meadow is only a small part of the pack's total range. Each wolf requires about 10 square miles of habitat, so that means the average pack uses about 70 to 100 square miles of territory. Now, this rendezvous site here might be used for several days, several weeks, even several months. Wolves do move around all through the latter part of summer and fall. This is unbelievable. It is so rare to be able to quietly watch wolves like this. It took hours to sneak in here for these views. This is something you should not try. It's so easy to disturb wolves in their habitat, and it's our responsibility to never do that. Now, wolves have incredible eyesight and sense of smell and hearing. The wind's blowing toward us. We're hidden behind this great cover of coniferous trees. They don't know that we're here. If they caught our scent or saw our movement or heard us, they'd soon be gone. Now, when they're down in those grasses, they're actually learning how to hunt. They roam around looking for grasshoppers and frogs or whatever else moves, and they pounce on them whenever they do find them. Just like that. Now, I don't want to disturb them, so I'm going to walk out of here and howl from a distance. The pups should come back out, and hopefully they'll howl back to my house. If I howled here, I might disturb the wolves, and we mustn't do that. This is indeed a privilege. We've taken a lot of effort to get here without disturbing the wolves, and we'll leave the same way. So I'm going to slip out and howl in a few minutes, and let's hope you see them howl. is here. We haven't disturbed them. It is critical that you never, ever disturb wolves. It's howling. Now, their howls that we're hearing are the means for their communication. They howl for a variety of reasons. They do not howl, though, when they're chasing prey. They don't howl at the moon, but they do howl for communication. Pack members that are separated will howl back and forth to each other. They seem to also enjoy howling as a social event, the same way we enjoy singing. At least some of us, I can't sing, so I don't enjoy it, but they seem to enjoy that. What we have just seen is one of the rarest sights in nature. Now, we could stay longer and watch them, but I firmly believe in never disturbing wild animals in their habitat, especially animals like wolves. So we've enjoyed them, we've relished the moment. Let's leave them there to their business.
Want to try group howl? Okay, you start off. You join in. Go ahead. And each do about 2 or 3
Howling like a
howls.
wolf is really a lot of fun. However, in Algonquin Park, human howls are also used for much more than sheer pleasure. Algonquin is world famous for its public wolf howls, events in which human howls are used to get wolves to answer back for park visitors. Ron Tozer, recently retired park naturalist, has been the lead howler for almost 30 years.
What is the reason for their huge popularity?
Well, I think the real thing for people is to have actual contact with a wild animal. They see a lot on television and in films, but what they really want to have is contact with a real thing.
Now, you've heard probably more wolves howl than most people alive on Earth have. Do you still enjoy hearing them call back?
Well, I do. It's still a very exciting thing and a real feeling of accomplishment when you do howl and they howl back in response to your howl. Or perhaps even more exciting is to just be out somewhere and they howl spontaneously, which of course they do, and you had nothing to do with it. You just happened to be there and you didn't even know there were wolves present. It's an exciting wilderness sound. It's the only thing that even remotely comes close to it in Algonquin is the call of the loon. And I think wolves are just a little more exciting than that even.
In Algonquin, human howls are also used to locate wolves for study purposes. Dennis Foyt, a wildlife research scientist with the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources, was one of the first to use his technique.
We were able to keep track of individual packs and their comings and goings from either dens or rendezvous sites, places where they had the pups stashed, sometimes for weeks on end, just by howling.
Do you still have the same kind of feeling inside when you hear a wolf answer back?
You know, we took a group out last week and we had 2 adults answer, and it was as exciting as the first ones I ever heard. It was a phenomenal response, and I mean, the wolf just has that capability of instilling that kind of emotion in people.
Isn't that one of the most beautiful, pure, and stirring sounds you've ever heard? The howls of wolves are a very primal sound, which to me are the heartbeat of wilderness. And besides hearing this incredible music, we also had the rare opportunity, the rare privilege of seeing wild wolves. That to me is one of the highlights of being outdoors, is to encounter animals like this. Thanks for coming along on this incredible journey into the Howls of August. Join me next time for another adventure where everything we meet is wild by nature.